We launched our own investigation about sexual assaults and harassments at schools after the fallout from the Capitol High School rape case. We wanted to know how often cases like this and ones that weren't as serious but just as concerning were being reported, and what, if anything, was being done to prevent them from happening in the first place. It was the case that rocked Kanawha County schools.
Student arrested, charged with raping another student while they were both at school.
A rape investigation that led to a Capitol High School senior athlete pleading guilty to first-degree sexual abuse after forcing a 15-year-old girl to have sex with him under a stairwell.
I did force her to have sex with Rubin.
The school's longtime principal charged for not immediately reporting the case to law enforcement.
There never was a case against me.
Only to have those charges dropped after an abrupt change in what was deemed a confusing law.
Miscommunication, perhaps, with respect to what the law required.
A whirlwind of events that sparked an important question: what's really going on in your child's school? Eyewitness News launched our own investigation in early February, sending Freedom of Information Act requests to Kanawha, Putnam, and Cabell County schools, along with the West Virginia Department of Education. We asked for every incident of sexual assault and harassment that had been reported since 2009. We wanted to know specific dates, what school the report came from, and if it was reported to law enforcement.
Time is of the essence when these things occur. We just don't want any further harm to come to children.
Student conduct is governed by West Virginia Board of Education Policy 4373. Now, pretty much this is a blanket policy, so specific incidents of sexual assault and sexual harassment aren't recorded as distinct behaviors. So the state gave us records of reports that those behaviors could fall in. But there was no way for the Department of Education to determine if the reports explicitly involved sexual assault or sexual harassment. That information would have to come from the local school districts. Cabell County was the only county that went through all of its data to determine which of the reports were without a doubt sexual. According to their numbers, Huntington Middle School had the most reports of sexual harassment since 2009 with 10. Barbersville Middle had 8 and Huntington High School had 7. As for sexual assaults, there were 4 on record, with 1 at Cabell Midland High School, 1 at Huntington High School, 1 at Milton Middle, and 1 at Meadows Elementary.
When we become worried is when we're hearing no reports. Then you start worried that you know maybe your reporting systems are not working.
Kanawha County Superintendent Ron During agrees. Parents, teachers, when they see a lot of reports, they shouldn't be alarmed.
Oh no, absolutely. That would be great, because the more reports we see, and again, they may not all be substantiated either. They weren't sure, or after investigating it was another thing. But at least they're reporting, and I think that's what's important rather than keeping silent about it.
None of the reports say if the complaint was substantiated, merely that it was reported.
We always tell parents just because it wasn't substantiated doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Kanawha County records indicate Riverside High School has the most reports overall, 30 for sexual misconduct and 36 race, religious, ethnic, or sexual harassment cases. Again, Kanawha County did not go through to deem which ones were strictly sexual reports. Capitol High School, despite being the largest school in the county, had a relatively low number of reports, 5 sexual misconduct cases since 2009 and 7 harassment cases. According to Kanawha County Schools, there were 0 reports at Capitol in 2012. The same year, a revised Policy 4373 became effective. State education officials say there was a substantial increase in reports following that revision and a heightened sense of awareness. Would it be surprising to you if a school on there had no reports for a given school year?
It could be a concern. I would like to, certainly it could be. When you have 28,500 kids, there's always something going on.
With 10 sexual misconduct reports and 37 race, religious, ethnic, or sexual harassment complaints, Hurricane Middle School's number of reports soar above any other in Putnam County.
We have 10,000 students. And I'd like to tell you that they're all on their best behavior every day and they all do the right things all the time, but that's not the case.
We sat down with each county school leader and the state school superintendent to find out what's being done to prevent these types of cases before they happen.
The school plays a major role in that. We educate the total child and make certain that they understand acceptable behaviors, and we just want good citizens.
Counties can also track trends with this data and will perform targeted intervention if necessary, also keeping a close eye on students who reoffend.
Very seldom have I seen things that are unsubstantiated, but the bottom line is that we want to make certain that things are investigated and there is a process.
The state's 40-year-old mandatory reporting law was rewritten in the wake of the Capitol High School scandal, closing a loophole in sexual assault and abuse reporting requirements. Our investigation also found out that no county keeps a record of cases that are reported to law enforcement. Do you think that it would be beneficial if you knew, though, if you know what cases were?
I think what's more beneficial is to know that we're investigating it, we're taking care of the situation, we're applying the appropriate discipline if it did occur, and that more and more students are reporting every day, and that we're investigating those. And I think that's what's important.
A case that cast a harsh new light about what happens after the bell rings. We have made it very easy for you to see where your child's school falls in this report. You can find all of that information on our website, WCHSTV.com. Reporting in the studio, Leslie Rubin, Eyewitness News.